Hi, today I'm going to demonstrate the new advanced pathway functionality in the BracketPal tournament management system. This particular feature allows you as a tournament director to create and use some slightly more complicated tournament formatting that previously was not available using the algorithmic playoff bracket generation logic. I'm going to kind of jump right into this just to demonstrate some of the more common use cases of this, but ideally you'll be able to deduce some of the higher level the options that are become available to you. The important thing is that this basically makes you able to do a bunch of things and join brackets and pools and all kinds of stuff together in unusual ways. So anyways, I'm going to jump right into it. So in this situation, you can see I have a division here called B with 10 teams, and in it I have 2 pools of 3 and 1 pool of 4. Now nobody particularly likes pools of 3 because pools of 3 only allow you to have only allow each team to basically play 2 matches, and a lot of tournament directors like to have an option to add a third match at the end of pool play. That's kind of dependent on the teams that are in the bracket or teams that are in the pools, as well as possibly using it to determine the next step, how you're seeding into the playoffs. So I'm going to jump right from here. So we're going to do what's commonly referred to as crossover. I know we use the term crossover a lot for a bunch of different reasons, but the term is just kind of used all over the industry. So we're going to make a bunch of cross pools or crossover pools that or crossover matches that allow. In this situation, we're going to say we're going to have the 2 first place teams play each other from pools 1 and 2 from our 3-team pools. The first place teams from our pools 1 and 2 will play each other, and then the 2s will play the 3s. So this gives us kind of an interesting way to seed into the playoff bracket. So to do this, we've got our pools all set up. We're going to click Create Playoff Bracket, and then from the drop down, instead of choosing pools like you would normally do, we're going to choose Advanced Pathway, and then we'll go to Next Step, and this will take us to a new screen. And in this situation, like I said, we want to take the 2 first place teams and have them play each other. So first from pool 1 is going to play, and first from pool 2 is going to play. And you see it gives us kind of a little preview of what the bracket's going to look like. And let's click Save. This takes us to actually naming the bracket. So we're going to call this Cross A, and we're not going to set a time in courts. You know how to do this, and we'll create the playoff. So we got ourselves our Cross A bracket. You can see it shows first from pool 1 is playing first from pool 2. We can go ahead and publish that. We don't need to print that. And let's go make our others. So we had Cross A, we're going to make Cross B. And again, we're going to choose Advanced Pathway. And this time we're going to take second from pool 1 is going to play third from pool 2. And again, we're going to save, and we're going to call this Cross B. And we're going to do it one more time. So we create playoff bracket, Advanced Pathway, and now we're going to take third from pool 1, playing second from pool 2. All right, and finally we're going to call this one Cross C. All right, so let's go ahead and review these. So we've got, in this case, we've got second from pool 1 playing third from pool 2, which is what we want. And then we've also got third from pool 1 playing second from pool 2. So as our one of the neat side effects of this that was previously not available was that this is going to give us a hint at functionality that's on the way, is the ability to have brackets that are basically placeholders for finishes in other pools or in other brackets, so that we can so that players can have an idea of where they're going without relying on, without having to wait for the whole pool group to finish like you currently have to. So with this going, I'm gonna take this one step further, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually make our final playoff bracket. So let's say our final playoff bracket. The reason that we did this logic was that we only wanted to take the top. We only wanted to take the top 2 from each pool, but we didn't want the third place teams from the pools of 3 to get immediately removed. But we're going to make a 6-team playoff bracket here, and we're going to take not the top 2, but we're going to take both teams from cross A, only the winning team from cross B and C, and then the top 2 teams from the pool of from our pool of 4. So hopefully you can visualize this. But if we take, so we're going to say create playoff bracket, and again we're going to choose advanced pathway. And if you didn't notice while we were setting up the other ones, you'll notice we've got all of these playoff brackets showing across the top here. So remember, we're not taking anything from pools 1 or pool 2. We're only taking from pool 3. So we're going to take the first place team from pool A, from our cross A, which was our 2 first place teams. That's going to be first seed. Second seed is going to be our second place team from cross A. You notice it starts building out the bracket like it did before. Our third seed is going to be the team that won pool 3, which was our pool of 4. So we drop this in. You'll see how it's starting to fill out the bracket. And now, if you follow kind of a general snake logic going into all this, 1, 2, and 3 coming from pools, mostly coming from pools 1, 2, and 3 in that order. Our fourth seed should then come from the pool as well. So we're going to take second from pool 3 is going to be our 4 seed. And then the winners of cross C and the winner of cross B. So that should theoretically be, that should give us a pretty decent logic, and we can have a look at this as well. We can preview this. So first seed is first from cross A, second seed is second from main, or second from our cross A, and then our third seed is from pool 3, and our sixth seed is from pool B, or is from our cross B. So one thing so this makes interesting playoff brackets. You can do some neat things with this. The current system as it is right now does not have a built-in replay prevention, so it's not going to look too deep to make sure that you're not doing replays. As this function gets built out further, we're going to add some additional functionality, possibly like a one-button replay prevention where it'll reorder the matches to try to make sure that you don't have replays, as well, or possibly just highlighting potential replay issues, which would be closer to how AES does it, or Advanced Event Systems. So, anyways, if we click Save, and this is going to be our final playoff brackets, and we're going to call it Gold Playoffs. There we go, and there we go. And we could also set up a silver bracket if we want to. So let's go ahead and do that too. Our silver bracket should be the teams that got knocked out from those various stages of the tournament. So our third place teams would be, we'd probably do, let's see, it's going to be so it's going to be the loser of cross B, loser of cross C, I believe. Loser of cross B. Yep, we'll do loser of cross B, the loser of cross C, and then the bottom 2 from our pool of 4. And this ought to work out pretty well. We got one team from across playing the third from 1, and cross from the other playing pool 3. So this will work out well. And then we can click Save. And we'll call this the Silver Playoffs. So yeah, so if you'll see what happens, and if we finish, we're going to go ahead and finish pools without entering any scores. So I'm going to go ahead and finish finish Pool 1. All right, we're going to go back to the main tournament. And if we look, Pool 1 is finished. We're going to see matches are going to start filling in. So if we go to Cross A, you'll see Ford and Partain, who won that bracket or who won that pool, are now in the history, are now in the list here. Same thing if we look at Cross B, we'll have one team in there for each. And if we look at Cross C, we'll have one team there for each. If we look at our playoffs, our gold playoffs, it's not going to have anybody because they're all coming from either the third place or from the cross matches. I'll do this to the pool of 4. I'll finish the pool of 4 right away. Let's finish the pool of 4. And now, if we look at the pool of 4, obviously that won't affect any of the cross matches because we don't have any of the pools of 4 seeding into the cross matches. But if we look at the silver playoffs, we'll see we got 2 teams that are filled in now, Adams and Massey and Wilson and Gilmore, as well as we have our gold playoffs. We'll have 2 teams seeded in from there. And finally, we'll finish this last bracket, or this last pool. That pool is done. Now, all of our matches should be filled in, obviously, again, except for the silver and the gold playoffs, but the cross matches will be fully filled in. So Ford and Partain versus Ferris and Taylor. Ferris and Taylor would have won the pool 2. So you can see Ferris and Taylor versus Ford and Partain are the teams, Ford and Partain, Ferris and Taylor. And then we'll record the winner. Say Ford and Partain won. Now if we go look at our gold playoffs, you'll see Ford and Partain and Ferris and Taylor have their positions. We can do that all the way through, finishing the cross matches. We filled in all the cross matches. Now if we look at our gold playoffs, they will be fully populated with all the teams. Ford and Partain. There we go. We got all of our teams. We can fill in the bracket and finish it off. And the same thing will apply to the silver bracket. There we go. So the gold playoffs are finished. Our silver playoffs, the same thing. Fully filled in, or fully populated with teams, and we're all done. So that is the new advanced pathway functionality. Thanks for watching.